There's been no shortage of attempts at Harry Potter video games. Every installation in the 7-book series has had at least one video game adaptation. The series has even spanned into all kinds of subgenres like LEGO games and AR mobile games in comparison to Pokemon Go. However, these games have yet to perfectly deliver on a fantasy most Harry Potter fans have in common. We want to explore Hogwarts and the Wizarding World on our own terms. No limitations that come with Harry's notoriety or characters that we've seen before. Hogwarts Legacy is a big deal for that reason. It seems that they might be able to give fans an unprecedented amount of freedom within the Wizarding World. Hey everyone, Blake here, and welcome back for another video. If you enjoyed the video whatsoever, be sure to subscribe with notifications on. And if you don't like it, be sure to let me know where I can improve down in the comments below. Hogwarts Legacy is uniquely set up in a lot of ways. For one, players will customize their own student to enroll at Hogwarts, and from the sounds of things, players will have a lot of freedom in this department. Check out my full playlist of Hogwarts Legacy videos for some more information on that. For another, Hogwarts Legacy is set up many decades before Harry Potter's time. The late 1800s is an era of the Wizarding World timeline that hasn't been explored much yet, and Hogwarts Legacy being an action RPG means fans will probably have a lot of freedom in exploring it. However, there's another type of game that would give Harry Potter fans even more of the freedom they crave, an MMO. Hogwarts Legacy isn't being made into a multiplayer game, but it sets some parts in place that should make fans wonder if an MMO is on the cards. Like, come on, who wouldn't want to play a massive online Harry Potter game? And no, I don't mean like Gary's Mod. The RPG format is a really good way to approach video games about Harry Potter. So much of the franchise revolves around the characters learning and mastering an inherent magical ability or studying new spells and other facets of the Wizarding World. It adapts well to RPG traditions like progressing through skill trees and training in new abilities. Hogwarts Legacy is sure to do things like this, which sets a modern precedent for how to develop a Harry Potter RPG, especially a Harry Potter RPG without Harry Potter. That's exactly what a Harry Potter MMO would look like. So, Hogwarts Legacy is good practice for the genre, especially if Avalanche Software retains access to the IP. It's even feasible that Avalanche Software could add an MMO-style multiplayer mode to the game later in the game's life. Something in the vein of Grand Theft Auto Online, but set in the Wizarding World, would completely change expectations for the game, which are already high. It's understandable if Avalanche doesn't want to aim for an expansion like this. If Hogwarts Legacy is meant to be a single-player experience and nothing more, then resources should be focused on that angle. After all, a standalone MMO in the Wizarding World, in my opinion, has more potential than a GTA Online-esque edition. We can see games like Ghost of Tsushima that were released as single-player campaign playthroughs are now implementing separate online multiplayers. This is awesome to see because it gives me a little bit of hope that they could do this down the line for Hogwarts Legacy. My mind is going absolutely crazy with possible thoughts of a Harry Potter MMO. A game like this might be one to break the franchise's traditional focus on teenagers and school life. An MMO could let players design adult wizards with the freedom to explore the United Kingdom or the rest of the Wizarding World and not limiting the player to the grounds of Hogwarts. Players could take up various occupations later on down the road after graduating from Hogwarts. Jobs like auras, wand makers, potion masters, and so on, filling out the setting by becoming a part of it. If such an MMO was set in or around the time of the Harry Potter books, then fans could also interact with and help out Harry Potter characters that Hogwarts Legacy loses out due to its place in the timeline. So we would get to play through on our own timeline and then meet up with characters we know and love later on down the road. You can't tell me that wouldn't be absolutely amazing for Harry Potter fans. I want to take a break for today's video and give a shout out to all of you that watch my videos. I still can't believe that I've passed 1,000 subscribers, let alone have you returning to watch my new content. Although we don't have any new information on the game, that's not going to stop me from making content for Hogwarts Legacy. I appreciate all the kind words on my videos along with the constructive criticisms in the comments. I'm so ready to see what this next year brings, and I'm ready to take this journey with all of you. Now, let's go ahead and finish up today's video. Although I would love a Harry Potter MMORPG, Hogwarts Legacy has to be successful first. So the answer to the question if Hogwarts Legacy needs a multiplayer, I would have to say no. I feel as if I can be immersed enough into the Wizarding lore in the game, I won't need a multiplayer. The game is a little under a year away from being released now, since it's been delayed to an unknown time in 2022. I guess that gives us some time to come up with our own thoughts and theories on how they should implement a multiplayer at a later date. Admittedly, Avalanche has another hill to climb first. Hogwarts Legacy has to overcome a reputation for controversy on top of impressing fans and critics as a game. If Avalanche can impress and draw in a lot of players with its single-player makeup, then it can start thinking about marketing an MMO towards these fans down the road. A Harry Potter MMORPG would be a dream come true for a lot of longtime fans of the series like myself. Let me know if you think they should add a multiplayer down the road, whether that being a game completely on its own or within the game some way. Maybe they could even just add a multiplayer in for dueling or Quidditch. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Now, another way they could do multiplayer is allow players to team up with friends and go on raids in Hogwarts and the surrounding areas. Now I'm just getting ahead of myself. That's all I have for today. If anyone is interested, I live stream almost every weekend on Twitch at twitch.tv/Scrubwork. I hope to see you all in future live streams to talk all things Harry Potter or Hogwarts Legacy. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and I'll see you Wizarding fans in the next video.